Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. The city of Prince Albert is adjusting operations to manage the heavy snowfall this week, including cutting some transit routes. Yesterday afternoon, the city announced it was shutting down bus operations. Today, the West Hill, East Flat, all-day and rush hour routes are operating with reduced stops. The West Flat, East Hill and Core Express routes are not in operation. The city says in order to keep up with heavy snowfall, the roadways crew needed to clear emergency routes multiple times and worked for 16 hours yesterday.
We're hoping by Monday that things should be operating as normal. Another thing I want to add is we have a contractor that cleans out the bus stops. We've been in contact with them, so they're also working to clear out the bus stops as we speak as well.
Transit routes are cleared once all emergency routes are operational. Snow removal is ongoing and the snow routes parking ban has been extended until 4 p.m. on Saturday. We are learning just how much snow fell and how strong the winds were during this week's prairie storm. According to a weather summary provided by Environment Canada, some areas of the province saw more than 50 centimeters of snow, including Prudhomme. Prince Albert had about 35 centimeters of snow, with Saskatoon seeing 19 and the Regina area up to 20. As for the wind, Weyburn saw gusts up to 94 kilometers an hour between Tuesday and Wednesday. Other parts of southern Saskatchewan saw wind into the 80 kilometer an hour range. In Saskatoon, gusts clocked 76 kilometers per hour. Following the latest blast of snow, a reminder to drivers to clear your vehicle before hitting the road.
In Saskatchewan, we do tend to see a lot of snow. Some big snowstorms come through, so it is very important for motorists to remove snow and ice from their vehicles. And if they don't, they can face a fine.
Drivers must have a clear front, side, and rear view. Failing to properly clear snow or ice can result in a $125 fine under the Traffic Safety Act. The Saskatoon Police Service says visibility is only as good as your worst window. As for sidewalks, property owners are required to clear the walkway surrounding their home within 48 hours of a snowfall. The city investigates complaints, and repeat violations could result in tickets or costs added to your property tax bill. So, Jeff, a lot of exercise being done with all the shoveling and maybe a little snow blowing going on. But what's going on over the horizon?
Well, there will be plenty of opportunities to do that because we don't have much in the way of snow in the forecast. So if you want to get caught up on your snow removal situation, well, you'll have that opportunity. But you will have to bundle up because it is going to continue to be quite cold. Now, right now, there's only there's not many places that have extreme cold warnings in effect, but it's still pretty darn cold. We do have a relatively inactive situation, not a lot of snowfall in the province. There's still a little something working its way into parts of Manitoba, but Saskatchewan and Alberta are really not a lot in the way of active weather. But what's active? The people, because they're just trying to keep warm by moving around. So yeah, we'll have more details on the cold weather later on.
An Alberta man is facing charges after a semi was stolen during this week's storm. RCMP say at about 7:30 yesterday morning, officers tried to pull over a stolen semi that was approaching North Battleford on Highway 16. The driver would not stop and sped further down the roadway. Additional officers were called in to make sure it was not traveling near the public. Police deployed stop sticks twice before the truck that was driving on its rims came to a stop. The 38-year-old from Camrose is facing several charges and appeared in court earlier today. Prince Albert police have arrested one man and seized a significant amount of drugs following an investigation that began last month. Cocaine, methamphetamine, MDMA, as well as more than $12,000 in cash and other drug trafficking equipment was taken as evidence following the search of a basement suite on 7th Street East. 33-year-old Laban Elmi has been charged with multiple drug and drug trafficking offenses. He made his first court appearance on Tuesday. The Supreme Court of Canada says it will not hear an appeal over a case involving a Saskatchewan man with ties to a Canadian nationalist political party. In February of 2024, Travis Patrone was convicted in Saskatoon of criminal harassment and failing to comply with a probation order. The offenses happened at a shopping mall where Patrone confronted an off-duty police officer about his relationship with his girlfriend, noting their different ancestries. He appealed his conviction to the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal, alleging failure of disclosure led to an unfair trial, but it was dismissed. He appealed to the Supreme Court of Canada, but today the country's highest court said it would not hear the appeal. A Saskatchewan woman who had her privacy breached by a Regina police officer says not enough is being done to prevent similar breaches from happening in the future. The woman, who asked to remain anonymous, was one of 6 people whose personal information was accessed by Regina Police Constable Clinton Duquette over a 3-year period. Duquette was the subject of a report from Saskatchewan's Information and Privacy Commissioner released in December. The woman was in a relationship with Duquette at the time, saying the information of a sibling and a former partner were also targeted by Duquette. Regina Police have said they already adopted or are in the process of adopting 8 of the 9 recommendations made by the Privacy Commissioner. But Duquette's access to the police database would not be revoked. Just months after opening a warm-up shelter, the city is looking at moving. The city of Saskatoon is considering buying this property on Idlewild Drive to be a year-round drop-in center for homeless people roughly 2 months after opening its current drop-in shelter. The city says it will cost more than $1.6 million to buy the building, with the goal of opening in November. Concerns were raised at City Council last fall when the city agreed to buy a building on Avenue C and open a drop-in center as cold temperatures arrived. Councillors and community members opposed the center being next door to the Salvation Army's existing shelter, prompting councillors to task administration to keep searching for a more permanent spot to decentralize social services.
I think it's challenging, and I think everyone would recognize it's challenging from the community service providers that we have, the individuals that are experiencing homelessness, not having any stability in where they can access services. I can imagine that's incredibly challenging as well.
Council is set to meet next week to discuss the purchase. After the break, a concert fundraiser taking place this weekend. Jasmine Pelche finds out about in-flight entertainment.
We are joined by Lisa with the Prince Albert Air Cadets. They have an event coming up this weekend, and we're going to find out more information about it. So, in-flight entertainment, how would you explain that, kind of like a brief overview if you're trying to tell someone what's happening this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. It is a fundraising event which is going to duly support the Prince Albert Children's Choir and the 38 Anavet Air Cadet Squadron here in Prince Albert. And we have local singer-songwriter from Saskatchewan, Jeffrey Stryker, who is going to be the main event, but he will also actually be doing a number with the Prince Albert Children's Choir. All service and hospitality is being provided by the Air Cadet Squadron, so they'll be serving the coffees, the teas, and the dainties. All the refreshments are being supplied by Sweet Stells, which is fantastic, and it's just a great way the community has come together to support these 2 youth organizations.
Have you had a similar event like this in the past?
No, this is our first event of this kind. Yearly, the Air Cadets will host a trade show in October, and that's always been a really huge success for us. But this year we wanted to try something different. We wanted to branch out. We wanted to partner with another youth organization that promotes leadership and creativity. And so who better than the Prince Albert Children's Choir?
Is that why it's a musical entertainment night, just kind of on theme with the Prince Albert Children's Choir? How did the idea for that come about?
That's pretty much exactly why. Jeffrey Stryker himself is also a former Air Cadet, and so we reached out to him, and he was happy to jump on board. And we just wanted to offer something a little bit different, something that is like a fun night to come, enjoy some beautiful music, some entertainment, some sweet refreshments, and raise a little money and have a good time.
How many people are you hoping to see show up?
We are hoping for 150. We still have some tickets available. Tickets can be purchased also at the door the day of the event. The maximum capacity, though, is 200 because we are so grateful to the Wildlife Event Center for letting us use their space. So, but yeah, we're hoping for a good crowd of 150. The Prince Albert Wildlife Event Center is across the bridge. It's across the bridge, and it's just, so where the SPCA is, it's just a little further down from the SPCA. There's signs, though, and stuff.
So it's north of the river, then?
North of the river.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably why I didn't have any idea what I was...
I can't actually think of where the exact land location either, but it's wildlife. Everybody knows. I think a lot of people know where it is, so.
If this event goes, you know, off without a hitch, are there going to be plans to have a similar event in the future?
I would definitely like to think so. I think it would be great, especially too if we could open it up to more of like a cabaret where we have maybe other local artists performing and make it like one big beautiful musical evening. I think that would be great.
How did the initial idea to partner with the children's choir sort of come about?
So the director of the children's choir, Megan Mewes-Fournier, is actually my cousin. Oh. So we work together. We've been working on this actually since July, and we just thought, what can we do together? You know, the PA Children's Choir is a great, wonderful organization, but not well known, and Prince Albert Air Cadets is such a great, wonderful organization. Both, you know, really foster uniqueness and creativity and promote leadership, and we thought, what can we do together to really make something special? And then I said, well, I'm friends with Jeffrey Stryker. Let's give him a call and see what we can do.
What is the age range for the choir and also the cadets?
So the choir has two areas. So they have a younger choir, which I believe are like 6 to 8. And so that's kind of like the prep choir. And then they have their senior choir, which I believe are older, I think 9 to 18, 19. And the Air Cadets are 12 to 18.
Is there anything we didn't talk about that it's important to get across?
I think it's just important to recognize that the beauty and how important these sorts of organizations are for the youth in our community. The Air Cadets is a completely free program, meaning there are no financial barriers to stop any youth from joining Air Cadets, and that is because of the hard work that we do on a sponsoring committee level and from community support. And that's our goal, is to always make sure that we will have all these opportunities for the youth in our community. And the children's choir, it's the same thing. It's really to foster and to develop this beautiful creativity that these children in our community have, because the children are the future of our community, and we really need to nurture that.
Well, best of luck for the event, and thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Jeff's putting the final touches on the weather forecast. That'll be right after the break. And later, a CTV personality lends his support. So, Jeff, the big storm that was hitting us, where has it gone and where is it on its way to next?
Well, it has made its way into parts of eastern Canada. They certainly got hit with it yesterday as we made their way into the traffic situation this morning. And so, yeah, the system that we've got that impacted us, that continued to make its way eastward, particularly through the Great Lakes region. And yes, and there is another storm that's brewing up, and that's making its way into the Atlantic region eventually. But we'll talk about here at home in a little bit here. Just taking a quick look at our satellite and radar shot here. Not a lot of active weather, fairly quiet conditions across the Prairie provinces. So that's good news for many people who just enjoy shoveling. There we go, yes. But nobody wants to shovel while it's still snowing. We got ourselves a relatively light wind in store for the next 24 hours. The wind direction will shift around a little bit, but all in all, we're not anticipating much in the way of precipitation as we roll into Friday. But it is going to be quite cold. Look at that, minus 32 for Spiritwood overnight, minus 31 for the Battlefords, the same for Candle Lake and Rostern. Partly cloudy skies in these locations. Minus 30 degrees for Birch Hills, minus 28 in Nipawin, and minus 29 in Melfort. So yes, some very cold conditions. Frostbite in minutes to exposed skin. For tomorrow, still cold. Minus 17 in Spiritwood under mainly sunny skies. Minus 19 with mainly cloudy skies in the Battlefords. That's the situation in Rostern as well. Minus 20 with mainly cloudy skies in Birch Hills, mainly cloudy, and minus 18 in Candle Lake and Nipawin, and a chilly minus 20 degrees for a high in Melfort, so way below seasonal. And yes, mainly cloudy skies in Melfort and area as well. For Prince Albert, a slight chance of some flurries. I should wrap up by before 10 o'clock tonight, if the flurries are even there. Minus 31, though, is your overnight temperature. Even with a slight wind of 10 kilometers an hour, that minus 31 will be making it feel like it's closer to minus 40. So keep that in mind. Please be careful. Minus 18 degrees with mainly cloudy skies on Friday for Prince Albert and area. Winds out of the northwest at 10. Taking a look at Saturday, well, there's our 7-day outlook. Minus 15 degrees on a Saturday. Sunday, we've got ourselves minus 19 degrees. And then on Monday, a chance of some flurries, minus 14 degrees. And the temperatures slowly warm up. By the time we get to Wednesday, it's minus 11, which is still a little bit below seasonal. But then, bam, Thursday, minus 3 degrees. So 1 week from today, pretty mild conditions. So, yeah, we just got to get through the next 7 days.
Just got to get through those days. And I mean, we've done it before, right?
Of course.
There you go. Well, if the taste of overtime is a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, Jeff, don't worry, because the Prince Albert Raiders, while they weren't in action last night, 2 Raiders were representing the Eastern Conference at the 2026 WHL Prospects game. And for Raider fans, rather, it was a familiar face playing hero in overtime.
Stretch pass to Rudolph with a little bit of space, moving in, cuts in front and scores! 14 seconds in, and Team East gets the 5-4 overtime win.
Team East captain Daxon Rudolph was the hero just 14 seconds into overtime, winning 5-4 in Langley last night. Raiders goalie Mikhail Orshulak was strong in the first half of the game, stopping all 14 shots he faced. Team West came back with 3 goals in the third period to force overtime. Blades players Zach Olson, Cooper Williams, and Braden Klimke also were on Team East. Olson with a goal and Williams with 2 assists. Curling has taken over headlines at this year's 2026 Winter Olympic Games, thanks in part to Canadian controversy and the now famous double touch rule.
Have you ever double touched your rock?
Can't say that I have.
Would you notice if you ever did?
Sometimes your hand just kind of grazes down. You don't notice it. So potentially.
Yeah, I probably even have done it intentionally a time or two before, but I don't think it's anything anyone means to do.
Thousands of rocks are being thrown this week at the Youth Sports and Canadian Collegiate Curling National Championships. Rules stipulate any touching of the stone after delivery between the tee line and opposite hog line results in removal of the rock from play. 2012 Scotties champion and current University of Alberta coach Jessica Amundsen says that limelight of curling this week is good for the sport.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
An 11-year-old girl from Ottawa has an ambitious goal of trying to raise $50,000 to support children with cancer. As Peter Sperling reports, her efforts are getting national recognition.
Same rules. Brooke Milo is an 11-year-old Ottawa girl with an inspiring $50,000 goal.
I'm raising money for kids that are fighting cancer right now.
Already nearing the halfway mark, she has raised more than $22,000.
Well, I've had lots of bake sales and fundraisers.
And for her, the inspiration is personal. Motivated to give after watching her grandfather donate his hair as part of a fundraiser years ago. Since then, she has donated her hair 3 times.
About to here, and then I cut it, and it was like to there.
She has a new motivation now after learning a classmate was diagnosed with cancer.
Well, I was very sad, and I wanted to help him.
Everyone, please welcome Brooke to the show!
The ambitious efforts aren't going unnoticed. She caught the attention of national celebrity Mary Berg, appearing on her TV show, The Good Stuff.
Okay, so that is a lot of donation.
Her own several minutes of fame, motivating other students and teachers to join the cause.
I just think it's a really big accomplishment. She's just a really inspiring person in general, and I love that she's trying to help somebody in our class too.
I think it's a wonderful thing. Brooke has proven to be a very authentic person in everything that she does.
For Brooke, she has faith that fundraisers can help with a cure.
Hopefully, doctors can find a cure for cancer.
And those that see her daily say there's no limit to what she can achieve.
Not only does she raise all this money for cancer research and for kids with cancer, but she's like a volleyball player, a swimmer, a good student, and she's a kind human.
A young girl giving the gift of hope while motivating others along the way.
It's honestly very fun to have big sales and fundraisers, and I feel like that if I keep donating money to cancer, then other people will.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
How about that, Jeff? Doesn't that warm your heart?
Very impressive.
Good for you, Brooke.
Bet.
Keep up the good work. Hey, speaking of warming the heart, people gathered at TCU Place yesterday, Jeff, for one of the best ways to warm up on a cold, wintry day.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Your Morning Saskatchewan's Jeremy Dodge was on hand at the 14th annual Winter Shines Soup Cook-Off. Jeremy was helping out the crew from the Sheraton Cavalier, sampling soup as he went. Chef DeFed and his team made this great corn bisque that took home the second runner-up prize from the sold-out crowd of around 400 voters. 10 of the city's top chefs crafted their best soups. For the crowd and judges, McKenna Rye from Loki got first, and Darren Craddock from Dakota Dunes took second. Aaron Luciano from University of Saskatchewan Culinary Services won the judges' prize. And we were talking about that, Jeff. When you get soups, there's the broths, there's the creams, and there's everything in between. Do you have a preference?
You know what? Seriously, I like all kinds of soups, and the soup cook-off during Winter Shines is fantastic because not only do you get some great soup to sample, you find out about some places you wouldn't have thought of, like curling rinks, to get great soup.
There you go. Is there a family tradition? Mine's hamburger soup. I always got some of that in the freezer.
Well, it's always a winner, and it's easy to make.
That's true. That's what I like about it. National news is coming up.